Could the iPhone SE2 be Apple's best-selling phone in 2020? Well, that's a good question. Let's talk about it. A new phone in March, it's going to happen, so the reports say, if you believe in such things. And if Apple releases the phone, most people think they're going to release. I predict they are going to sell a ton of them. It could become possibly, like I said, the best-selling phone of 2020 for Apple, but they have to get a few things right in order to make that happen. Now, the rumors have been going around that Apple's set to put a brand new iPhone into production in February for a potential March release that would be announced at their big March event that they do every year. What would that phone be? Well, everything points to it being a successor to the iPhone SE, the much-beloved budget iPhone released in 2016. Part of the appeal of the SE was it brought back the iconic design of the iPhone 4 and 5 lineups with its squared-off edges and design elements taken from classic Leica cameras and stuff like that. This all coming after Apple made a lot of people mad and switched to another design that was bigger and not very good looking. Maybe some people like the design of the iPhone 6, but I have never been a fan. It's not confirmed what the new SE, or perhaps the iPhone 9, as some people say it might be called, which would be a stupid name, and maybe I'll go into that in another video. But the majority of folks are saying it will look like the iPhone 8, which is weird because Apple still sells the iPhone 8 unlocked on their website for $449. That's the best price out there for any kind of new iPhone at the moment. So what will the iPhone SE2 be? Basically, it's going to be an iPhone 8 body with the current iPhone A13 chip and all the other hardware that's in there. It's likely that it's going to have Touch ID instead of Face ID, which will make a lot of people happy who don't like Face ID. There's still a considerable amount of backlash about Face ID. Some people just don't like the idea of the phone reading their face or something like that. Touch ID has been available on iPhone models since Face ID was introduced with the iPhone 8 and the iPhone 7 and that kind of thing, but never on a currently spec'd version of the phone. So here's the Touch ID back for those of you who want it. The iPhone SE2 will likely lose 3D touch like the rest of the iPhones have, and in its place, I'm going to assume that there'll be those improved haptics that were introduced last year. It'll have a 4.7-inch display, likely similar to the LCD display that's on the iPhone 11 right now, and if they go with a retro design similar to the previous SE, or if they give us something like the iPhone 8, there are two major elements that will be present or absent, depending on how you look at it, that people might get excited about. Yes, this new phone is likely to bring back Touch ID, like I said, but it will also not have a notch, something that we haven't been able to say about new iPhones now for a couple of years. People still hate the notch with a burning passion to this day, and while it makes Face ID possible, and that's a trade-off I've gotten used to, a lot of people like Face ID. Face ID is pretty cool. Some people swear they won't buy another iPhone until the notch is gone, and so maybe this is their chance. Like the iPhone 8 before it, the new SE will likely have a single camera on the back. Now, these are all rumors. We don't know if they've been confirmed, but they've come from reliable sources like Ming Chi Kuo and other people, so we're just going to have to take them all with a grain of salt and move forward and see what happens in February. One of the reasons the SE models could be so cheap compared to the newer models is Apple was able to sort of reuse an older design and the casing from that design. I imagine that dramatically lowers cost, especially if there's still maybe a stockpile of those cases out there. But as I said before, part of the charm of the original SE was bringing back that iPhone 4 or 5 design. I'm not sure people will get too excited about a budget iPhone that looks like the iPhone 8. Over the years, that design did evolve into something that looked pretty good, but from the get-go, it definitely lacked the joie de vivre of the previous iPhone designs. Rumors regarding the upcoming iPhone 12 lineup point toward Apple moving back to a more squared-off design that sort of harkens back to that iconic design. Probably similar to the way the iPads Pro took on a more squared-off design last year when they were redesigned for their latest release. I'm all for this move if it comes to be. I love the look and feel of the new iPads Pro, and the renders I've seen of the possible designs of the new iPhones, they look pretty cool. If the new iPhone 12 does bring back the squared-off design, it would seem kind of weird to me that in the same year Apple would release a new iPhone in the 9 or the SE2 or whatever they're going to call it that sports a design from now 2 generations ago. It's possible, but not likely that they'll bring back the original SE design, which would be kind of cool. But the 4.7-inch screen suggests something more like the iPhone 8 design. Now, if they can pull it off, if they can bring back Touch ID, get rid of the notch, and deliver on the rumored $400 price point, Apple's probably going to sell a lot of these phones. Apple hasn't had a true mid-range / budget phone since the last SE. And while the design would be somewhat dated, a phone with all the features that I just discussed, I can see a lot of people, families opting for that model for their kids, etc., as well as those people who like smaller phones and the aforementioned people who hate the notch or Face ID or something like that. If Apple really wants to get people interested, they could pull a fast one and give us a phone the size of an iPhone 8, but with an all-screen, no notch, under-the-screen fingerprint reader design. Now that would be a curveball. True, bringing in new features seems to go against the reasoning for the SE model as we've known it before, but it would be fun to see. People would absolutely lose their minds. That much would be for sure. Regardless, if we come into March and Apple reveals this new phone along with a couple of updated iPads, they'll steal some thunder from Samsung and some others who are just getting their 2020 lines out into the world. I've been saying for a while that 2020 is going to be the year of the mid-range phone. People are tired of buying $1,000 phones, and a $400 iPhone SE2 could be a pretty big disruptor in the 2020 market. And it would certainly help Apple overseas, where iPhone pricing sort of is just through the roof, and a lot of people, it's just not attainable for a lot of people. Regardless, 2020 looks like it's going to get interesting over the next couple of months. The smartphone wars might just be heating up again, but this time it's the David of the budget / mid-range phone going up against the Goliath of the overpriced flagships. The iPhone SE2 or 9 or whatever could be Apple's bestseller this year if they do it right, and that would be something to talk about. So let's discuss. Down in the comments below, what do you think about a potential SE2 or iPhone 9 or whatever you want to call it? What would you like to see from it? What would you like to see from Apple in general this year? Do you want an iPhone 8 design for the SE2, or would you like to see something a little bit different than that? Let me know down in the comments. We'll have a boisterous discussion. I'm really looking forward to it. Anyway, thanks so much for being here. My name is Jason, sometimes known as the JTL. This is Painfully Honest Tech. Tech so honest it hurts. Until the next time, I'm out.